the one person that you don't want to have that story, and then also that guy is your quarterback, is Kirk Cousins.
Mm-hmm. Oh, God. It's just so
I can just see it.
Oh, it's going to be the entire pregame show.
Yeah, they're going to talk about it. They're going to do his whole feature on Trayvon Diggs and little Aidan Diggs, and they're going to put a graphic with the amount of interceptions, and then Kirk Cousins is going to rip a wobbler right over the middle of the field without a doubt.
It's going to be like he's catching a punt.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Chris Hansen here, and I'm going to need you all to take a seat right over there and check out Birds versus Boys.
I think you're completely right here, and I hate it.
Yep. Hey, idiots. Stop doing dumb things. I got 2 phones. Upset alert. Upset alert. I might go insane.
I think you're already there.
There's no hope. Hope is gone. If this was an AFC North podcast, we'd be done in 15 minutes. Bob Hope. I'm going to drink bleach. That is
the team you promised me you were going to be this year.
This is the Consciously Hopeful podcast.
I'll be watching.
What's up, Cowboys?
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 86 of Birds vs. Boys. We have made it to week 8 of the NFL season. We are looking forward to this weekend's games. The Dallas Cowboys
are we?
Night football. I am taking on the Minnesota Vikings, and you and the Philadelphia Eagles take on the winless Detroit Lions. But Aidan, before we start, I have something I wanted to give you.
Oh,
if
God.
That's okay.
Go for it.
I have some flowers for you.
Thank you.
I have some beautiful flowers. And if you can see down here, the roots are growing out. They're growing very strong underneath the surface right here. You don't see the roots, but I need to water them and fertilize them so then when they do pop, they're there and they're beautiful. So very strong roots.
We're almost in full bloom here in mid October.
They smell beautiful.
Yeah, I bet.
I think that's why. I think that's actually why Devonta Smith was on the injury report with a headache. He was just smelling the flowers a little bit too much. Had an allergy headache today.
Yeah, pollen allergy probably.
Mm-hmm. But we're here. Kmess, Aidan, 86 of Birds vs. Boys. Like I said, we are heading into week 8. We have a lot to talk about between our two teams. But Aidan, you're the king of technical notes. Do we have anything special to talk about before we head into the program?
We do. A little bit of a change of pace going forward here mid-season, changing things up like the Eagles should probably do with their defense.
Halftime adjustments.
Yeah. Something to switch things up because we looked at some things on tape and the tape said we should do it this way instead. So I think what we're going to try, at least going forward, and this is the perfect week to do it because we play at 1, you played 8:20. But we are going to be doing 2 separate reaction shows. So if you're an Eagles fan, you can watch mine and watch me cry and moan and complain about everything that goes wrong. And if you are a Cowboys fan, you can watch Kevin's and he will react to probably a Cowboys win and break down everything going on with the team, with Dak, with the offense, everything like that. So they'll probably be similar to the one I did last week where I did a State of the Union for where the Eagles stand. 6 feet under.
Sucks, I believe.
I was the title. Yes. Thank you, Vince. That was fantastic. About 15 to 20 minutes in length. We'll react to the game of the day. Might be a little bit of NFL notes mixed in there with what's going on in the league. But now it'll be easy for you. You go to our YouTube page, you go to the Apple Podcasts, you see the link on Twitter. There'll be 2 links. There'll be one. This is Kevin's reaction. This is Aidan's reaction. And then you just choose your team. Should be easy. Follows the concept of Birds vs. Boys, but just based on the on what's been going on and how the algorithm has been working in views on YouTube, we decided to try it this way.
But if you like us, right, click on both. We like clicks on both. So if you're a Cowboys fan, still click through the Eagles reaction.
And Vince has told me it'll be one big audio episode. Mm-hmm. So on Apple Podcasts, just listen to both. And it'll probably be about 30 minutes. Because usually we get each other off track and then it turns into an hour. But now it's like in class when they make you sit with your best friend on the opposite side of the room so you get homework done. That's kind of what this is. But also just YouTube, the views look great when we were doing shows reaction-wise like that. So we're going to keep it up.
And so make sure you have subscribed, if you have not already, to our YouTube channel.
We are 8 away from 200.
Yeah. So, and there's some fools on there that I see that are in the thousands. So let's pump those numbers up. We have rookie numbers going on right now. Okay.
Yeah,
we pump up the rookie numbers.
We're focused on the audio. Now we're focused on the video.
We're pretty.
As well,
we're both pretty. We need to be seen and heard.
Yeah, both.
Right. It's not that difficult.
Subscribe to everything.
Do it. All right. Before we head into the Cowboys and head into the Philadelphia Eagles, this is going to be 30 seconds around the NFL.
Okay.
So, 1, COVID's still a thing. Get it, Packers? COVID's still a thing. 2, so Deshaun Watson, the Panthers have pulled out. They're done. They're out of the Deshaun Watson sweepstakes, if you want to call it. So it's basically Miami. But did you hear the owner of Miami? You know when the trade deadline is?
I know it's in November, but
November 3rd, I believe. So next week.
Next week, yeah.
Yeah. He wants to trade for Watson, but he wants all of his legal issues figured out and finished by the trade deadline.
That's how the U.S. legal system works.
What? Like, what are we talking about? And then the owners are at the NFL meeting in New York, the owners only, right? And Mark Davis was sitting there. I don't know if you saw, the owner of the Raiders, and he looked like
wearing
a 5-year-old child.
Yeah.
It looked like he got in trouble, and all the teachers were around him. Like, why did you stick the gum on the desk, Mark? And he's like, I don't know. I don't know, maybe. But they asked him if there should be a written thing come out, documents about the emails of Washington and Gruden. He's like, yeah, I think that would be a good thing to have. And then they interviewed Jerry Jones. And of course, Jerry being Jerry, he's like, I speak on behalf of all the owners, and I believe the NFL did a fabulous job, absolutely wonderful job with everything. Now move forward. It's like, all right, Jerry, I speak. Of course, you speak on behalf of all the owners. You speak
for everybody. Yep, sounds about right.
So that's about it. That's going through the NFL. At the end of the show, though, I believe we are doing 2 TikToks tonight.
Correct. There are 2.
So stick around the end of the show when we also always bring in producer Vince to do our TikToks with us. So who wants to start? You want to start since your game is technically 1 o'clock and I'm the night game? Or do you want
might
me
as
to
well.
Start? Yeah.
Because it's like, I don't know anyone who's not emotionally apathetic about this game. So it shouldn't take us too long to work through this one. So, all right. So we play the Lions. It is October, and we have reached the point where it would probably be better off if they actually lost the game. But the team is still fighting hard, according to Nick Sirianni. And as Kevin mentioned before with the Flowers, here's what he had to say in his press conference today to get his team psyched up for the Detroit Lions on Sunday. Vince, if you could play the audio for us here, courtesy of Tim McManus. Here is Nick Sirianni talking about hyping the team up this week.
I said, right, that the results aren't there right now. But what's going on here is that there's growth under the soil. I put a picture of a flower up, right, and that it's coming through the ground, and the roots are growing out, and the roots are continuing to grow out. And everybody wants to see results. Shoot, nobody wants to see results more than us, right? We want to see results too, but it's really important that the foundation is being built and that the roots are growing out. And the only way the roots grow out every single day and they grow stronger and they grow better is if that we all water, we all fertilize, we all do our part. Each individual coach, player, everybody in the building, that we do our part to water to make sure that when it does pop out, it really pops out and it grows. And so that was my message today. And so I'm always, like I said to you guys before, I'm always thinking of different messages to give to the team. That either messages that I think that really fit to the situation that I've gotten before in a situation from another head coach or that from my dad or whatever. And so that was my message today, because we are going through tough times and everybody wants to see results. But just keep doing what we're doing, keep watering, and look at yourself first and know if are you watering and are you fertilizing every day. So when it's time to pop, it'll pop.
Urban Meyer finger banged a college girl, and I guarantee his team was more fired up when he walked in the room apologizing about that than a flower conversation from Nick Sirianni.
I thought you were going to say that Urban Meyer will keep his job longer than Nick
probably.
Sirianni will. I have. So here's what I think. There should be only two types of scenarios where you use that flower analogy.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the first one. One, you are a girl on Instagram writing your caption for your New Year's Eve picture in a year where your boyfriend cheated on you and you guys broke up and now you sell tummy tea on Instagram. And you're like, it's been a long year and I've had to reflect on everything I've been through and grow myself. And just like a flower, I just had to water and nurture and grow. And now I'm ready to bloom. Hashtag new year, new me. Use my Instagram link for 20% off tummy tea. Mm-hmm. That's the first one. The second one is an Alcoholics Anonymous counselor when you're like, yeah, you haven't drank for 13 days and maybe your family and friends haven't realized the change yet. But, you know, sometimes it starts with underneath. You got to have growth. You got to water and nurture, and then you'll bloom and everyone will see that you're on the road to recovery. Those are the two scenarios where you should use that flower analogy.
So is
not
Nick
to get
Sirianni,
ready to play a professional football game.
Is Nick Sirianni closer to a teenage girl on Instagram who is broken up with, or an Alcoholics Anonymous leader?
I would say the Instagram girl, but if he keeps losing, he may end up in Alcoholics Anonymous. So just like the rest of us.
What are these dudes like? If he's in there talking about flowers, you know that team's like, this motherfucker.
Could you imagine Fletcher Cox's face when he's just showing a picture of a flower? What's that supposed to do?
If I'm Brandon Graham, I'm like, bro, get my number off your visor right now.
Dude, we're playing a guy. The coach was talking about biting people's kneecaps off. Yeah. We're talking about flowers.
Pretty happy flowers.
We are we might be screwed against the Lions.
I hope so.
The Lions.
Hey, the Lions have been playing tough. They're not good, but they're playing tough.
I was about to ask you that. Are the Lions the worst, or I'm sorry, the best winless team of all time?
I think so.
I mean,
they pulled they have 2 fake punts the other day and like 4th down conversions, and then they still lost the game.
Yes, they pulled out all the stops. They were winning against the Rams. It took a NFL record field goal for the win that bounced off the crossbar to go in.
Their coach is crying.
Coach was crying. They lost another on a last-second field goal to Minnesota. So they've lost 2 walk-off field goals this year. They're beating the Rams, which we all consider a top 5 team. They may be the best worst team of all time.
Why doesn't if I'm a coach right now, I'm like, yo, I'm walking up there. I'm like, we suck right now. And I told the guys we suck right now. And that's my fault. That means I suck right now. And we need to get better. I need some fertile. Yeah, I went online. You can do it right online now, guys. You don't even have to go to the store. And I ordered fertilizer from Home Depot. And now all I need to do is just roll up to Home Depot. They have these little assigned spots. And I just call it and say, I'm at spot 7. And they bring my fertilizer right to the car. And then I can bring it to NovaCare. And we just fertilize. So we're just fertilizing.
Big opportunity here for 1-800-Flowers to capitalize on this social media wise. But also it's really rough when
flower show.
Oh yeah, that too. I forgot about that. Yes, definitely. The other thing is the players don't trust the scheme at all, and multiple players have mentioned that in public that they really don't understand the scheme. I don't even know if a lot of the coaches understand the scheme. The scheme on defense just seems to be like, don't allow a 75-yard touchdown over your head, but give up everything in front of you. And your leaders and Fletcher Cox, Rodney McLeod, all those guys are like, what are we doing? And then you come back with, we're a flower and we're going to bloom. But first, you have to grow underneath in order to pop up and rise up. This is not optics-wise a great week for this coaching staff.
The defensive philosophy is at all costs, do not let them shoot you in the head to kill you, but let them kill you by a million little paper cuts and let you bleed to death.
It's some of those drives, like the Raiders going 10 plays, 96 yards without a third down, is death by a million cuts. Like, that's just the philosophy that they're going for. And I know that Jonathan Gannon believes he doesn't really have the staff to pull off the scheme that he wants, which is true. But hey, buddy, you might as well try, because you tried this method and it's not working.
Adjust, adapt and overcome.
Yeah, at least let them try something else and be a little bit more aggressive, because the one strength you have is the defensive line, and that can't even get after the quarterback because the ball is out of the quarterback's hand so fast because they're just taking the easiest route that's given to them. And that's why Hunter Renfrow went off against us. And he's a good route runner.
And they were going against Hall of Fame quarterback
Derek Carr. My favorite comment on that YouTube thing was the guy who was like, he's a top 12. I called him mediocre, and they didn't like that I called him mediocre. And the guy was like, he's a top 12 quarterback in the league. So he's not top 10 and he's not bottom 10. So what word would you like to use?
Mediocre.
In the middle. And the other guy was like, so then I listed all these quarterbacks who were better. And he was like, I don't know. I'd probably still take Derek Carr over Lamar Jackson and Justin Herbert. I was like, okay. And he said Dak too. I was like, all right, I think
here we go. And good night. He was 12 years old.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I could see his profile picture. Grown man.
There's a picture of his dad. That makes it even worse.
On his dad's account, probably.
Yes. His dad's like, get off. No, I hate Derek Carr.
Yeah, without a doubt. So, yeah, I ran into the Raiders cult that I didn't know existed this week, that Derek Carr is like a top 5 quarterback. Didn't even know that was like a thing. I didn't even know that they liked him that much.
Oh, I did. I felt bad. I felt bad for our guy E-Rock going out there. It looked like he had the time of his life. The pregame show tailgate at the pool looked phenomenal. But after that, I can't imagine flying home. That E-Rock said too, he had a flight at 10 p.m. that night leaving, so he had a red eye home.
That's rough. That is really rough. Oh. I'm so thank God on earth that I went to the bachelor party I went to was at Atlanta week 1.
We need to start, you were in Atlanta for the win and they performed phenomenally. Yes. We need to start a GoFundMe for fans to get you to every Eagles game this year.
I have seen one Eagles loss in my entire life. The Seattle wildcard game is the only loss that I've ever seen.
So you are miserable when it comes to gambling, but if we get you in the stadium,
I'm coming back.
We get you in the stadium. Players rub your little red hair. Mm-hmm. Nick Sirianni could bring you up as a prop at his press conference. So we had flowers. Flowers suck. So we have this red leprechaun guy here. Okay, he's really good luck. Okay, he's got red hair. We rub his hair. I told the guys, you rub the hair 3 times in a circle and then 4 times the other circle. It could give us good luck and we won't lose because the hair particles in the hand, it helps the football stick to the hand. It's good luck.
I like the idea, not just because of the fact that it would get me season tickets. Also, I would definitely give a better pep talk than that. I would close all the doors so that the people from the front office couldn't hear what I was saying, but I think it would resonate with the players of what I was going to say. So, GoFundMe, get me in the stadium. I've won a lot of games.
All right, GoFundMe, #send Aidan to the games.
Thank you. And one last thing on the Eagles. We're 2-5. I saw the stat. We're 2-5 for the first time since 1999, which is remarkable. I was 5 years old. And then the very next year, turn of the century, Donovan McNabb went to the NFC Championship game. That's the first game that I remember in my lifetime. So, yeah, I feel like I'm actually pretty thankful. I really haven't experienced this before. When people say this is a low point, I was like, you're kind of exaggerating. No, Not really. This is about as low as it gets. This sucks.
You know,
You're just like rooting for an AFC South or an AFC East team to lose all their games, and that's like your excitement on Sundays now.
I've been to 4 games in Dallas, and I'm 1-3, miserable. I've been to 4 games, Cowboys, Eagles, in Philadelphia, and I'm 4-0.
So we can't let you in the stadium. We need a GoFundMe to keep you out.
That's fine. Pay me to stay home. Pay me to watch football on my couch. I'm good with that.
That's pretty remarkable.
Flowers,
Yeah,
man.
so I feel like I am pretty thankful, except for this year, and I know that this is a dark time. There's no other way around it. This is dark. I get
But
excited.
you have flowers growing.
Oh my god, no! It's about to be cold. These flowers are gonna die. Look, it's pitch black out here. It's windy. Like the leaves are turning colors and everything. It's just the flowers are gonna die any day.
Dead flowers. There's no, who gardens anymore?
I'm just. Here's what I care about. Did you?
I want to
Did you see?
I want to see him like with like one of those little shovels, those like little garden shovels. Just like Sirianni.
If we win, this will become a thing. That's the
yeah.
hilarious part.
Absolutely.
That'll be a thing. Then they'll be like the flower childs. That'll be hilarious.
Did you see the helmet I made on Twitter?
No.
The Philadelphia Flowers.
Oh, that looks like if like Hawaii had an alternate uniform that might actually work.
I was actually pretty happy with
that.
With my skills on that one.
So one last thing on the Eagles, and we'll switch over to the Cowboys. Did you watch Kayvon Thibodeaux on Saturday?
Yes.
Dude.
Did you hear him curse after the game and get fined?
Oh, yeah. I got it live. I was trying to get a photo of his stat line because it was ridiculous, and I got it while he was swearing. I was like, this is perfect. I love him even more.
If you get Thibodeaux and Kyle Hamilton, I will fucking lose my mind.
Oh, I wish. Oh, my God. That's my dream. Oof. And then add in like one. Give me them and the center from Iowa or one of the receivers like Olave or Jahan Dotson. And
then trade for Russell Wilson.
Yes. That would be interesting. Like, would you give up all 3 of these picks for Russell Wilson? If
all 3 first?
No, I don't know.
I don't think he changes this team enough with the exact same team around him.
Very true. That's my overarching point is there's no quarterback or coach that fixes this. But I feel like
if he was a free agent, I'd give him whatever he wanted.
Yeah, I think 31 teams say no, but because this team's wanted Russell Wilson since 2012, they might be the one team to be like, yeah, we'll give up anything to have this guy like fulfill the prophecy that we've always had for him.
And then he's going to play 4 games for you guys, and he's going to go up to Howie Roseman's office and go, why the fuck didn't you draft DK Metcalf?
Yeah. Howie Roseman shouldn't have an office after this year. And I'm glad that everyone's coming around to that. So hopefully, thanks for the 3 picks. Someone else will take it from here.
So no thoughts on the Lions game?
I'm sad. Like, this is sad. I'm at a point in life where I don't want them to lose. Like, it's human nature. You want your team to win, but I know the betterment of the team is them to actually lose this game. Like, it's such a odd and peculiar but frustrating position to be in where like you need to clear the Lions from being winless, and you could help that and have the Dolphins like lose out, and then you have a chance at Kayvon. But
so
like,
Dolphins play at the Bills this week, so I mean they're going 1-7.
Come on.
And then the
We're
Colts
cuckoo for Kayvon.
The Colts have a tough one. They're home, but they play the Titans, who are on a roll right now.
Dude, I don't know if you've been watching the Colts. I obviously have. They looked pretty good. They looked good for a few straight weeks. They had a collapse at the end of that Ravens game, but they dominated that. Played the Texans, so they dominated. Pretty much dominated the 49ers game, aside from Carson Wentz again, just like
pulling a Carson Wentz.
Yep. 9 throws are perfect, and the 10th throw, you're like, have you ever looked at a football before? Yeah. Have you even know what this is? But they play the Titans at home, obviously a huge game. If they win that, then I'm pretty sure their schedule goes. I guess I could look this up, but I'm pretty sure it's Jets, Jaguars. So they have a chance here.
I'll tell you right now.
I was looking at it earlier today. It's not as easy as the schedule as I thought.
All right, so they have Titans, home against the Jets, home against the Jags, at the Bills, home against the Bucks,
Yeah,
which that's a tough stretch. But
they have
then-
a 3-game home streak though.
Yeah.
They play Titans, Jets, Jags at home. Like if
Yep.
they beat the Titans, they could have a 4-game winning streak in a 3 games at home. But then you're right, they go Bills, Colts. Like if you win, or I'm sorry, you go Bills, Bucks.
Yep. But then Texans, Patriots, which are both winnable. But then they finish at the Cardinals, home against the Raiders, and then the Jags on the road to finish the season.
Well, wait, I think it's you're right. Well, Derek Carr is the top 5 quarterback in the league, so
Very true.
Got to count that one as a loss.
Mac Jones might be top 3 by then too.
That's true. But yeah, I mean, it's a doable schedule, but this is the crucial time. You're 3-4. You have the potential to beat your rival, who's in first place, and that should be a really good game. They're playing the healthiest they've been. That's the best football they've been playing, and then you've got Jets, Jags. This is your stretch.
I mean, but you're rooting for Carson to play well and obviously play, but lose, correct?
I'm rooting for my personal agenda to be correct, which is happening.
So you will give up draft position to be right?
I will give up draft position because I'm worried that if the Titans pull away in the division, then they would just be like, what's the point of playing this guy? Like know we've seen enough to know he's our franchise quarterback, but why eliminate our first round pick?
Yeah, no, I agree.
That we could use to build the team. Like the more the Titans have been on a great stretch.
Yep.
They have been on a dominated the Chiefs, beat the Bills. They beat the Ravens too. I might have made that one up in my head.
I think you made that up. Hold on.
But anyway, they did beat Chiefs. They definitely beat Bills, Chiefs.
The Titans, they beat the Seahawks. Oh no, that was. They played the Colts already? Yeah.
Yeah, they beat the Colts in week 3. That one was at home though.
They lost to the Jets. Then beat the Jags, the Bills, and the Chiefs. Yeah.
So that was the Bills I was thinking of.
I don't understand the Houston up 4-1 on Atlanta.
Thank you.
Like the scheduling that the NFL does. Like, so Colts, Titans, which I think everybody would agree people thought would be very important games in that division. They're done playing each other by week 8.
Yeah, it's just I think the problem with the division is like when 2 of the teams like they play division to end the year, but one of them is playing the Texans and one of them is playing the Jaguars. It's like
and it's like
it is an easily forgettable division.
And then like Dallas, right? I don't know if you know. So they've played obviously already the Giants and the Eagles already. Okay. They don't play Washington until week 14. And then again week 16.
Yeah.
So they go 14 weeks without playing a team, and then you play them 2 times in 3 weeks.
I think we do the same with the Giants. There's like a stretch 5 out of 6 games are division games to end the year, which is wild.
And the NFL's done this before. Like, why do we have to play a division opponent twice in 3 weeks?
I don't know. It's weird. Makes it interesting though.
It does.
Well, maybe not this year because of the way this division is trending. It is trending in the wrong direction, which leads us to the Cowboys Sunday night in prime time against the Minnesota Vikings. Kevin, take it away. How do we feel?
So feeling relaxed, rejuvenated, refreshed after the bye week. I hate bye weeks. This past Sunday was a little boring, I'd say, with football. I don't know. I wasn't like fully zoned in. I don't know if that's because Dallas was on a bye, but sometimes I do enjoy just being able to watch football relaxed and not worrying about my team. Because I mean, it's a stressful 3.5-4 hours when our teams are playing. So
Mm-hmm.
just got to relax. So feeling rejuvenated, feeling refreshed. Obviously have been on pins and needles about Dak Prescott ever since the last play of the Patriots game when he strained his calf. But it seems like all systems go. It seems like everything, he rehabbed his ass off during the bye week. They said they have like this pool at the Star where you can like run and do all. He was apparently like a prune because he didn't leave the pool. He was just rehabbing. He like didn't put any pressure on the leg for a week. So he was limited, obviously, first practice back today, but he was on the cords and everything. He was throwing. So all systems point to go. Everybody, like I was talking to my one buddy. I'm like, is there a chance Cooper Rush starts this game because they're 5-1? They've got 3.5 lead in the division already. And we're like, it might be. And now everything that's coming out of the Stars, like that's not even an option. So he's playing. So he's playing. Two guys that will not be playing that have been placed on IR, Brent Urban and Maurice Canady. Brent Urban, they got him in free agency this year from the Bears. He's a big defensive lineman, helps big time in the run defense for them, which is not good going against Dalvin Cook this week. So losing him, it's not like losing Tank Lawrence, but it's gonna hurt a little bit. And then Maurice Canady was a cornerback for them. It's kind of a reserve corner. Was playing really well in the preseason. Did not play last year. They got him from the Jets. He did that COVID opt-out thing. So he was placed on IR as well. But two guys that were designated to return from IR, Michael Gallup and boss man fat Kelvin Joseph. So Kelvin Joseph has not played at all this season, hurt himself in the last preseason game. And then Michael Gallup hurt the calf week 1 against the Bucs. He was at practice and seemed to be a full participant. Today he was catching balls from Dak. So they haven't announced if he's playing yet or not. I'm hoping he does. So we'll see. He's really their stretch the field guy, which they haven't really had. He's their 50-50 deep ball guy.
So like the worst guy possible to have a calf injury.
Exactly. That's why everyone was freaking out too. They're like, well, Gallup hurt his calf and he's been out 5 weeks and Dak hurt his calf. I'm like, yes, 1, it's a different calf injury, and 2, it's completely different positions. Dak doesn't have to sprint down the field 85 times and literally jump off his leg every play. So we'll see. And then Tristan Hill, also defensive lineman, has not played all season. He hasn't even practiced since tearing his ACL last year against the Giants. He practiced for the first time today as well. So we'll see when he starts to get in the mix. And then it seems like Tank Lawrence and Neville Gallimore are still a couple of weeks away. But it's interesting. It's like they're going to be signing all these free agents or trades, getting all these guys trickling in, coming back from injury. And that's a reason why I really don't know if they're going to make a move before the deadline. I would love them to. I think they have places where they could make upgrades, maybe like a Michael Brockers from Detroit. Bring him in. He would be a perfect guy for the defensive line, and they wouldn't have to give up as much as going after Quentin Williams. So we'll see. Now, did you hear the news from Mike McCarthy today about Lyle Collins?
I did not. I think I saw something on Twitter. So he's not with the ones, right?
So he's back from suspension. Yeah. He is 100% cleared to play. So Mike McCarthy in his press conference said that Terrence Steele is going to be starting at right tackle. Continuity is good. And Collins is going to be getting work at tackle and guard. Now, questions for you. Does this mean, one, you think Collins is in the doghouse with the coaching staff and the team, the way he handled this whole situation with bribing the guy? He's missed 25 out of the last 26 games. Also, he was out all last season with hip injury. They paid him a lot of money. Or does this mean Connor Williams at guard is on the hot seat, who has not been playing well? Terrence Steele has kind of held it down at right tackle, and everyone's like, well, just plug Lyle Collins in at guard. It's that easy. Get your best 5 on the field, which people always say, put your best 5 out there. But he also hasn't played guard since his rookie year. So is it as easy as just he's been playing right tackle on the right side and now you're just going to throw him over there at left guard and everything's fine?
Kind of. So I think what it is it's like it's just such a what have you done for me lately league, and coaches care so much about availability. And like you mentioned, if he's been out for 25 to 26 games, and the reason that he's been out lately is just because he
Is an idiot.
somehow applied for an appeal and got his suspension to be longer, which is just wild every time you think about it. And since it's so idiotic, you probably know how the coaching staff feels about it. So they're going to be pretty reluctant to give him his job back, considering his replacement played well. But they're also like, this is a business. Let's just, like you said, put your best 5 out there. So like, well, you may have lost your spot with your actions, and your replacement came in and performed well, but there may be an opening for you over here where they really haven't been performing as well. So that's what I think it is. I think if you mesh them all together, you get your solid answer.
I just hope it's not just strictly the doghouse thing, because Lyle Collins is a better player than Terrence Steele. Terrence Steele has played very well for 5 weeks. They're 5-0 with him at right tackle. I get it. But Lyle Collins is a better player, and Lyle Collins is a much stronger player, physically stronger. They've been doing a lot of things, and granted, and kudos go to Kellen Moore with helping Terrence Steele, right? They haven't left him out on the island to go one-on-one, which the old regime and Jason Garrett would do. They'd be like, oh, next man up, get him out there. And they like against Atlanta a couple years ago when Chaz Green was out there and he literally gave up 8 sacks in one game. And they're like, well, next man up. No, doesn't work that way. So they've been doing things to help him. But if you put Lyle Collins there, you don't have to do as much to help him. You don't have to do anything to help him. He can hold up one-on-one. And you're going against this Vikings team, who, I don't know if you know this, leads the league in sacks.
I would not have guessed that.
Right?
That is not the first. Honestly, that they wouldn't have been in the top 5 for me.
Everson Griffin plays them. Remember last year with us crushing Everson Griffin?
Yeah. Now he's like good again.
Yeah. What? Maybe he just needs to be in purple.
Yeah. It's like how Al Horford's only good for the Celtics.
Doesn't make any sense.
No.
So you're going against a team which their strength is pass rush. So I hope Lyle Collins is starting somewhere. That's all I'm going to say. He's been at the facility. He's been working out. He's been with this team for. Don't just, be like, well, it's good. He can play. No. If you want to win the fucking game, put your best players on the field. Simple as that.
I agree. Best foot forward, best 5 forward.
So in this game, what I'm worried about and what I'm excited about. One, what I'm worried about is their run game. We saw against the Patriots when a team wants to run against this Cowboys off defense and they make it a point, you're going to be able to. And now, like I said, they don't have Brent Urban. So Dalvin Cook scares me in this game. I feel like they're going to try and take possessions away from the Cowboys offense by running the ball.
I think that's the best.
It's what you have to do, especially.
And also, it's a Kirk Cousins primetime game, so eliminate the ability for him to make mistakes.
Yes. So that I'm worried about that for sure. And then, talk about if Michael Gallup plays too, talk about 2 of the best wide receiving cores going against each other in a game. Somebody asked the question, who has the advantage there? Not that they go up against each other, but I think it's the closest thing to a push that there is in this league.
I agree. That has potential for shootout, depending on how Kirk Cousins is. And Kirk Cousins hasn't actually been bad this year.
No.
But he also, how it goes when it comes primetime, it becomes just the shell of himself. But yeah, that's a very good matchup.
He always does have good numbers against the Cowboys, but I would say if Amari Cooper was 100% healthy, which he's definitely not, and it shows you too in those audio sideline things that the Cowboys put out after every game. They showed like one part where Coop made the big catch in the 4th quarter, and it showed, I think it was Anthony Brown and somebody else. They're like, dude, on the sideline, like Cooper's a dog, the injuries he's playing with. And obviously they're not going to, I think he's playing with a lot more injuries than they're even disclosing. But maybe if he was 100% healthy, I would give the Cowboys like a little edge. But with him banged up and playing at 75, 80%, I'd say it's like completely a push. So that brings me to Trayvon Diggs too. Lately, he's been traveling with the best receiver. And this I don't think you can travel him. I think he's going to have to, in some spots, be on Jefferson and some spots be on Thielen because, it's almost like the Tampa thing. Like he shut down Mike Evans, but then Antonio Brown killed Anthony Brown.
Yeah, and it's weird because not only do you have to travel, but also Adam Thielen and Justin Jefferson both line up in different areas. Like they're not always on the outside. Like both of them are phenomenal in the slot. So they kind of put them in different places and they kind of interchangeable, honestly. So I don't know if there's like a right side for him to be on. I guess not right side, correct side for him to be on, or a correct guy for him to match up with.
I think it's going to have to be like tendencies that they find watching film, like where they go in certain spots of the game, where they like on third down and try and play those tendencies and put Diggs in positions to try and win. Because primetime game, Kirk Cousins is going to put it up there a couple times for him to try and get his 8th interception of the season.
Oh my God, I can see it. They're gonna hype the story up about Trayvon Diggs having 7 interceptions, and the one person that you don't want to have that story, and then also that guy is your quarterback, is Kirk Cousins.
Mm-hmm. Oh God, it's just so.
I can just see it.
Oh, it's going to be the entire pregame show.
Yeah, they're going to talk about it. They're going to do his whole feature on Trayvon Diggs and little Aidan Diggs, and they're going to put a graphic with the amount of interceptions, and then Kirk Cousins is going to rip a wobbler right over the middle of the field without a doubt.
It's going to be like he's catching a punt.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Oh God. So that's where I'm worried. Their running game and then our defense matching up with the firepower also of the receivers on the outside. Where I'm excited is the Cowboys running game. Obviously, they've been putting up a lot of points this year. Dak's been throwing for a ton of yards. Like we said, they have one of the best receiving cores in the league. But they've been leaning really heavily, obviously, on this run game and the 1-2 punch with Zeke and Pollard. And this Minnesota Vikings team, and the Vikings are sitting at 3-3, can't stop a cold. They can't stop anything. Like you or I think, could gain some yards on this defense. We may die doing it, but we would be able to perform.
Die trying.
Exactly. So I'm very excited to see the type of trickery, I guess you could say, that Kellen Moore came up with during the bye week to try and get a lot of running plays in this game and not just your typical, 2nd and 8, run it up the gut. 3rd and 6, run it. No, that's Jason Garrett is dead. Literally dead too with Joe Judge. But so I'm excited about the run game. And when the run game is playing well, what happens? They bring an extra guy in the box and then boom, there's CeeDee Lamb, there's Amari Cooper. So I think somebody asked me too, out of the next 3 games being, or is it 3 games or 4 games? Hold on. While you're doing that. So obviously they play the Vikings Sunday. But then they play, all right. Yeah. Out of the next 4 games, what is the one that you're most concerned about? At the Vikings, home against the Broncos, home against the Falcons, at the Chiefs. And I think it's this game.
I was about to say, probably, I mean,
Chiefs are the Chiefs. They're going to.
The Chiefs, yeah.
But the Cowboys are going to be able to definitely score on the Chiefs, I think.
Their defense is just bad. Like there's no fix to this. Like there's no coming around on that defense. They're just like not good. I feel like you still have to go Chiefs just because they have the ability to go, like they're the only offense and maybe the Vikings to go toe for toe with the Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I feel like it's this one. Sunday
Night Football.
Yeah.
In Minnesota. Minnesota always finds ways to give them trouble. They beat Minnesota last year, but that was that CeeDee Lamb unbelievable catch in the corner of the end zone. But coming off a bye, they were on such a roll, 5 wins in a row. And the bye is always great to get healthy and stuff, but sometimes that also studs your momentum. So we'll see. They're a 1.5 point favorite in the game as of now. I'm not jumping on the bandwagon. Cowboys win by 1 billion, but I did see Dak Prescott's lion tamer Halloween costume.
Yeah.
I mean, he's living life. So maybe by 1 billion, maybe a zillion, but I think it's going to be a very entertaining game, and I think it's going to be a close game, and I really do believe it's going to come down to the fourth quarter. So we'll see. We'll see. Cowboys trying to get to 6-1, which would be massive for their chances of locking this division up by Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Depending on how this week goes for the rest of the division. Giants have the Chiefs. I'm looking. Washington they had somebody where I was like, that might be a loss. They are, the Denver Broncos. They play at Denver, though. So I was like, that's kind of a toss-up. I don't know. Yeah, it could be done by Thanksgiving. But low-key, like a actually great Sunday night football game between the Vikings and the Cowboys. Even though I complain about the Cowboys being on primetime.
Bigger fraud 3-0 team, the Broncos or the Panthers?
I thought it was the Broncos, but I also was like, don't trust either of them.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I would love to see Aaron Rodgers next year in Denver.
Actually, the idea of Pittsburgh intrigues me the most.
Yeah, true. I don't know. I kind of want to see Pittsburgh fall apart a little bit, even though, shout out Mike Tomlin. That soundbite today, did you see it?
Yeah, it'd be nice if that guy at Penn State would do the same thing, but he won't. And that's kind of when issues come up.
Oh, when he was like, you asked Andy Reid this question, Sean Payton's question. He's like, there's not a blank check that could bring me into a college game.
That was my favorite part. He was like, there's no booster with a blank check big enough to get me out of there to college football. I love that.
And yeah,
he has such a stern voice. And like, okay. Oh.
He's like, yeah.
I feel bad for the reporter because he had to ask. Like,
of course.
It wasn't like he just like made it up. Like someone said, like, if Mike Tomlin's name is in the running for USC. So like, you had to ask.
I think it was Carson Palmer just trying to get back at the Steelers all those years for ruining his knee.
Forgot about that. Yeah.
How about James Franklin? Like, we're just preparing for Illinois. Really focused on Illinois.
9 overtimes. Oh, that was dreadful. I've never seen a game so entertaining by being just so dreadful.
Mm-hmm. Like, I was really intrigued in it, and I was into it, but at the same time, I'm like, Illinois ran the ball all day, and then the first 5 overtimes, they just threw it.
They passed it every single time. And then, like, Penn State, it's like, guys, okay, I wanted to call a timeout, bring both teams to midfield, and just talk about what are our strengths. Penn State, you have Jahan Dotson. He might go in the top 10. Let's try to work him into the
one
overtime.
Play. All you need is 3 yards.
Time. He didn't get one target.
Yeah.
Oh. And then at Illinois, you had 300 rushing yards. Maybe you should try a running play. It's like, guys, it just got so caught up in the moment that they just looked like SpongeBob when all he could think about was fine diming and breathing and forgot his name. And they were just so hectic. And it was awful. Some of the worst football I've ever seen.
But you did see Franklin this week, right? In his press conference?
Yeah, he said Illinois, which
twice.
You're about to play the hottest offense in the.
And then did you see where he said they're playing?
No.
In the big house. But he's playing. He said he's playing Illinois in the big house.
Oh God. Yeah, this is not gonna go well. Oh man.
He's already fucking picking out his palm trees that are going in front of his house in Southern California.
Yeah. Oh God. That's bad. That is
wonderful.
Bad.
Oh, it's wonderful. All right. So that was our Cowboys Eagles breakdown. So now we're gonna head in. Do you have your odds crowd picks?
I did do them. Yes.
Okay.
Do you?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I do. So each episode we do 2 picks. Did we go 4-0 last week? I know I went 2-0.
I did as well. Yep.
Yeah, 4-0.
I forget which ones that they were, but I had Ravens Bengals over was one of them.
Yep.
And then I had Patriots. I went back to old reliable minus 6.5, and they won. They put up 50 points. So
and
yeah,
I had
it was
over
very
with you.
easy. Yeah.
And then I had Colts +4.
Yeah, there you go. It's what a single thing.
I went to tweet out our video of it, and then there wasn't a video. So I don't know.
Guy gets one desk.
Yeah. Just
Can't do
stops
work
working.
anymore.
Stops working. He just stares out at the skyline out of his office now. That's all he does with the kids. Just hanging out with all the high school kids now. He's too cool for us.
He's too cool for us. How do you do, fellow teenagers?
All right. So we have our picks for Odds Crowd, which you've been doing pretty well, right?
Dude, I in NFL, I looked through both the NCAA and the NFL because Joe right now is on pace to literally win the entire thing.
Yes.
And there's 300 something people in the NCAA and 600 in the NFL. I've got to bet more.
Yeah, me too.
I have a
I'm not betting
strike
enough.
rate, and that's the problem. I have a strike rate in NFL. I'm 70%. I'm hitting
Damn.
70% of my bets. I just
a
like
couple
don't-
more.
I guys bet more of them, but I just go with what feels good and don't risk any more.
Yep.
And that's where we're at.
That's where you're at. All right. Would you like to go first? Would you like me to go first?
I'll let you go first.
Okay. So my first game, I am going to that Sunday night game we were just talking about, Cowboys Vikings. I'm going over 55 points in this one. Like we said, both of these offenses can score a lot of points. They can run, they can throw, and both of the defenses are sort of questionable. This Dallas defense is not whatsoever a shutdown defense. It's a bend don't break. And hey, Trayvon Diggs might get 7 for the Cowboys as well. So I could see the Cowboys putting up 35, 38 type points. And I definitely see the Vikings scoring at least 21, if not 28 or 30 as well. So give me the over 55 in Cowboys Vikings Sunday night.
First one I have is so simple. The Rams are playing the Texans. Spread's minus 14.5. Might as well just go with the Rams. I saw today they traded Mark Ingram. Brandon Cooks, the leader in the locker room, put out a tweet. He was very upset. Feels like the Texans are kind of losing it.
Yep.
You know, I don't know what it is because they didn't have much to begin with, but I think there's just like a lack of faith there that's starting to settle in, and a lack of talent as well. It looks like they're finally at the end of the tunnel with the Deshaun Watson thing, and I feel like they may just lay down. They are at home, but this is a Rams team that's been, playing really well. Top 5 team in the league, minus 14.5. I think you just got to take your shot with that, even though it's a large spread.
It is a large spread and it's scary, but I think you do. You do take that. All right. So my second game here, Chargers at home against the Patriots. Chargers are 5-point favorites in this one. Patriots have to travel across the country in LA to take on a Chargers team, which the last time we saw them got embarrassed by the Ravens, and then they had a bye week, so they had a week to get refreshed. And the last thing in their mind was that embarrassing loss. And all they've wanted to do is get on the field to avenge that loss and kick someone's ass. And then they have the Patriots to play, which the Patriots have 3 wins this season, right?
Yes.
2 against the Jets and 1 against the Texans.
I did not know that.
Those are their 3 wins.
So maybe not getting on track, maybe just playing bad teams.
Exactly. Yes, they hung 54, I think, last week against the Jets, but this is going to be a completely different team. I think Justin Herbert's going to be locked in, ready to go at home in SoFi, off the bye with that disgusting taste of that Ravens loss still in their mouth. Give me the Chargers minus 5 at home against the Patriots.
I like that a lot. I was actually looking at that one. Did you also see that Brandon Staley didn't want to coach the Eagles because of Howie Roseman?
I did not, but I love that.
It's hilarious, isn't it? Good times. Good times.
But so you got the ADD version of him.
Yes. The flower child version of him. All right. So I am going with under 43.5 in the Seahawks Jags game. Just kind of playing the trends right now. The Seahawks scored 10 points on Monday Night Football. That's all they could muster up. I know it was a good Saints defense, but it just doesn't look like they have the firepower. They're playing the Jags, and the Jags have scored over 20 points one time this season, and that was in the game against the Dolphins when they won 23-20. Yep. Oh, they scored 21 against the Bengals. So, yeah, they don't score a lot.
Yeah,
the Seahawks are struggling. I'm just playing the trends under 43.5 in that one.
Hate it, but love it. Hate it because we
Hate the
like
game.
points, but it's true. Yeah.
Hate
like
the fact that I have to watch it.
That Monday night Seahawks game was it was boring.
That was a stinker. We had a stretch of some good ones. There were some really good ones, but that one was pretty bad.
But I watched the Manning cast. I watched the first half, so I watched Marshawn Lynch. I mean, how did they not know that was going to be a shit show with Marshawn Lynch?
I was about to say they should have known that he was going to cuss.
Like, come on. And then I don't know if you watched it, but when Tom Brady was on, it was just electric city.
I watched the regular cast, which I don't know why. I wasn't even that focused in on the game.
No, I wasn't. I was just like, the game was boring, and it was literally Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, and Eli Manning talking about football
Just
and
cutting
busting
up.
each other's balls. And I was like, this is, yes. And then there was points where Tom Brady, so Brady was watching this game, and they play the Saints this week. So he was like watching film while watching this game, and like you could see him talking to himself during it. And then like I think he like forgot he was on TV, and he's like, oh, and he was like, oh, when he crosses up, and how everyone was like, oh my god, like he's literally just breaking down the Saints right now. It was awesome. It was awesome.
That which is wild to think about. Great timing to have him on the week before he plays.
It was great. It was
plays
great.
the Saints. All right, so those are our odds crowd pick. Again, download it. Literally, we have physical proof now. Joe won $150 this last week in the weekly contest. You can do it for the season long. He is literally in first place to win $3,000. We're not making this stuff up. You bet for free, and then you win money. We have
easy
physical proof at this point.
All right, we ready?
I am ready for the TikTok. Let's bring Vince in. We have 2 of them tonight, like we talked about. We could rapid fire this.
We could.
All right.
Easily.
So
I have 5 for both.
I also have 5 for both. That's okay.
Me too.
Okay.
Good.
Look at this. Same brains.
Same brains. All right. So the first one, I'm actually excited about this one. We've got a lot of questions in the comments about fantasy football. It's peak of fantasy season where you're doing trades. You've got buys, so you're on the waiver wire. So I thought, let's do a fantasy-inspired TikTok. The fans seem to like it. They ask us for trade advice. So what we're doing is top 5 receivers you'd like to have in fantasy for the rest of the season. So power ranking, top 5 wide receivers you'd have for the rest of the season. Like if you could draft today from here to week 17, you want these 5 guys.
Love it.
Are you guys ready?
Let's do it.
All right. So I was thinking at 5, maybe Deebo Samuel because of the target share, maybe one of the Bucs receivers because that offense has been going off. I'm going with Marquise Brown. He had a down week this past week, and he's still got 14 targets. He's had above 15 points in 5 of his 7 games. So I'm going with Marquise Hollywood Brown from the Ravens. I feel like they can't run the ball, so they're throwing it to him.
Love it. So 5 for me, it's old reliable, one of the best receivers in the league. It's DeAndre Hopkins. And you're just like, whoa, why is he so low? Why is he only 5? I mean, they have so many weapons on that team. Like you said earlier, they're sneakily one of the best receiving cores as well. D-Hop's always going to get his, always. But the 2 or 3 other targets in other seasons he may have gotten may go to somebody else, so he may not get every single target, but he's still – was that a train? He's still going to get his. He's still the man, but I'm going to put him at 5.
We're resolving the train situation.
Stop it.
Don't you live in a high rise? How can you even hear the train?
Cause I don't know. It's so far away. Like we're not close to the river, and it's across the river. You can still hear it. At 5, I have DJ Moore. The Panthers stink, and they have a really tough schedule the rest of the year. They're gonna have to throw the ball, and who else do you throw it to?
Not Robbie Anderson.
No, apparently not.
Yeah,
they can't dump it down to McCaffrey.
Exactly. So he's had a decent year so far, and their schedule just gets tougher, and they're going to get worse and worse because Sam Darnold's going to keep being Sam Darnold. So I think all those targets go to DJ Moore.
It's a good one. At 4, I have Tyreek Hill. I think now would actually be a good time to maybe trade while the value is low. He only scored 7 points in half-point PPR this past week. The Chiefs are getting ragged on every national TV show because the offense and the defense, the team looks awful. Now might be a good time to jump on Tyreek Hill, see if you can make a trade. He does have multiple 30-point performances. I think at some point he catches fire again. Try trading for him.
4 for me, I have Tyreek Hill. I think this would be a good time to maybe trade for him because his value may be lower. But for all seriousness, the Chiefs are going to get back on track. Tyreek Hill is going to get back on track. Mahomes is always going to find him. Like you said, he has a couple of 30-point performances so far in this season, and we're only at week 8. I wouldn't doubt if he has 2 or 3 more, if not 4 or 5 more, heading down the stretch of the season. So Tyreek Hill is absolutely still top 5 for me.
Number 4, I have Tyreek Hill. I think it's a good time to trade for him. I think owners of him are pretty frustrated with him right now. Chiefs are another team with a pretty tough schedule ahead, and they're not as great as they have been, so they'll be playing from behind a little bit. As I say that, they may have had one of the easiest schedules remaining.
Play the
I don't know
Giants.
if I'm remembering correctly.
Play the Giants.
Yeah, I may be wrong about that, but the Chiefs are the Chiefs. They're going to, they have the easiest remaining schedule, but they also can't run the ball. So Tyreek Hill is one of their only options. It's him and Travis Kelce, but we're not doing tight ends, so Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, we could have done receiving threats and tossed him in there. All right, at 3, I have Ja'Marr Chase. Ja'Marr Chase doesn't have a single-digit point game so far this year in half-point PPR or full-point PPR. He gets double digits every week. He's at a touchdown in 5 of 7 games as well. He plays the Jets this week. The Jets. Do we think this trend is going to stop soon? Probably not. Ja'Marr Chase, who is already the runaway rookie of the year on offense, will probably just continue it and be a top 5 receiver in the league.
3
Real quick,
for nope.
I want to correct myself. Chiefs have the hardest schedule remaining this year. I was correct.
I was about to say that, I mean, we just talked, they've got the Cowboys, they definitely have the Chargers again, they definitely have the Raiders who are 5-2, and Derek Carr is a future Hall of Famer. So they definitely have some tough games left. I feel like their stretch has been brutal so far.
Yeah, their opponents have a 61% win percentage going the rest of the year, and Panthers are 2. So I was correct.
Ooh. All right, hold on. Makes me just want to look. Let's take this out of the TikTok. So Giants, home against the Giants, home against the Packers, at the Raiders, home against the Cowboys,
Yikes.
home against the Broncos, home against the Raiders, at the Chargers, home against the Steelers, at the Bengals, home at the Broncos.
Yikes.
None of those games are a gimme.
Broncos.
You said
Giants.
Giants, yes. Broncos, who the hell knows this year?
Stink.
I think we know.
Stink.
I don't know. This year's been weird.
Stink.
The Chiefs aren't a lock anymore.
They're not a lock, but they are kind of close to a lock against the Broncos.
All right, 3 for me. It's the number 1 wide receiver in Green Bay, Devonte Adams. Reason I have him at 3 and not higher is you can't play him this week because he's got COVID. So that's like another bye week where you just don't have him. He's always going to get his targets. He's an absolute animal. It is unbelievable. Do you know that they are 6-1 as a team when he doesn't play? And for some reason, not only is Rodgers have a better completion percentage, which makes sense because they're not airing it down the field. He also throws for more yards. He has 311 yards he averages without him and 298 with him. So it's wild. I'm not saying this team is better without Devonta Adams. I have Devonta Adams in one league. I absolutely love him, but he sits at 3 for me.
3 for me. I have Cooper Kupp as the fantasy owner of Robert Woods. Someone on that team must be getting the ball because it's not Robert Woods. If you watch the Rams games, though, Matthew Stafford loves Cooper Kupp, and he's catching everything that comes his way. I don't think the Rams get worse. They're gonna at least be tied at 0-0 for the first drive of every game. So I don't know how often they're gonna be playing from behind, but he's still gonna get a ton of targets. Cooper Kupp at 3.
At 2, it's Cooper Kupp. He's actually the wide receiver 1 so far in fantasy this year. His fantasy points are on par with 2007 Randy Moss thus far.
Wild.
That is the statistical pace that he is on in fantasy. And you're right, Vince. They're not giving it to Robert Woods because Cooper Kupp is so wide open all the time. He gets so many targets. He's got 1 single-digit point game so far this season. He had 30 this past week. I have one guy ahead of him, but at 2, I have Cooper Kupp.
So I just realized I have, between 2 leagues, all 3 of my top 3 guys. And between both leagues, I have 3 wins. Fucking insanity.
Your running backs must be terrible.
Oh, I lost McCaffrey. I've lost Gus Edwards. It's been wonderful. So 2 for me, Jamar Chase. He's been an absolute freak. I drafted him this season. I was not worried whatsoever about you can't see the ball because the stripes aren't there. I never doubted him. Unlike maybe someone else in this podcast that may have doubted him just for a second.
I was first.
No, he's an absolute animal. He's had this connection, obviously, with Joe Burrow going back to college. And it just looks like he's just such a dog, too. He has that mentality of, this is my ball, and I'm going to go get it, and I'm going to do whatever I need to do to help this team win, whether it be in real life or in fantasy. So if for some reason he's floating out there in a league or somebody's willing to trade him, go get him.
I'm having the same situation in fantasy that you're having. My teams are fantastic. I just keep going up against teams that have amazing weeks. It's insane. Like, I have top 4 points scored in both leagues that I'm in, but I'm bottom 4 in both leagues because my points against are like the worst in both of them. I'm coming back up in the Brandon one, though. I think I'm almost in playoff contention. 2 for me. I have a joint pick here. They're the same guy. To Eagles fans, at least, they're the same guy. I have DK Metcalf and Justin Jefferson. I feel the same thing while I watch both of them. I couldn't differentiate between the two of them. Heartache, just, a human net. They catch everything that's thrown at them. They've been targeted more than 0 times this year, which is a big thing when you're comparing them to the Eagles receivers that were drafted ahead of them. Did you see I said it in the group chat. Did you see the story about DK Metcalf today?
Mm-hmm.
How could that be any more? How could that be any more opposite than JJ Arcega-Whiteside?
Yeah, complete opposite.
Very different people.
And the fact that Justin, it was a different draft, but Justin Jefferson's nickname also being JJ kind of sucks.
JJ.
I don't know why.
That's a hot nickname.
Mm-hmm. That's a hot nickname. It's just we drafted a wide receiver from Stanford. I mean,
yeah.
DK Metcalf was in the he's from Ole Miss, right?
Yep.
Those like baby blue Ole Miss uniforms that look awesome on everybody. Like,
he went into his draft interview shirtless.
Oh my god!
Yeah, with the Seahawks.
Draft him.
Yeah,
and he also ran a 4.340 at the combine, so that also helped.
Well, no, you know why the Seahawks drafted him? Because he was on the board.
Good.
Because he was available.
Because he's the best receiver available.
Yeah, you take the best position player available when you're looking for that position. You don't go digging for some like sneaky steal from Stanford that ends up not getting targeted through 7 weeks of the season.
Correct.
Yeah, I think that's all I have on that.
It's never a bad time to do that rant. It's okay. All right, at 1, I have Devonte Adams. Somehow he's actually only wide receiver 4 this year, but looking into it, it's just because the Packers were awful in week 1 and laid that clunker up. But since then, he's been phenomenal. Yep. Packers have looked great. Him and Rodgers, everyone knows where the ball is going, and he still ends up with it. The only downside is he can't play this week, but when he gets back, he's just going to be Devonte Adams again. It's just like, take the most consistent thing, like what Vince just said. Take the best player available. Take the known commodity. That's Devonte Adams.
Absolutely. He's an animal. He's a freak. I love him. 1 for me. It's a guy I've drafted every single year since his rookie year. I have him this year. I had him last year. I had him the year before. It's Cooper Kupp. The connection that him and Stafford have this season has just been unbelievable. And like you said, he's just always open. They were in the red zone and the other day and they backed up. Stafford didn't throw it yet. And I was like, this is going to Cooper Kupp touchdown. And then they're like, Cooper Kupp touchdown. And my wife's like, how did you know that? I'm like, I'm really not that smart. It's pretty easy. If you just say that name, 80% of the chance that's happening. So Cooper Kupp's an animal, especially in PPR leagues. He's going to get you 7 to 10 catches, 100 yards, and probably 2 touchdowns every game.
It feels like how Nick Foles and Alshon Jeffrey were in 2017. It's like Nick's going to throw a light ball and it's just going to land in Alshon's hands.
Yes, softly from the heavens.
And then the next year through his hands.
That too.
So number one. I have Jamar Chase. I drafted him pretty late. I think it's in the branded league. He was on my bench for the first couple weeks. Then I was like, I can't justify starting him or not starting him at this point. So, oh my God, this fucking dog, man.
Meow. We bought a zoo.
Jamar Chase at number one. What can you? He's going to be the best receiver in the league.
Just bark.
I could see him being the best receiver in the league in the next couple years. I don't know how you don't put him on this list. So I have it number one.
Absolutely has to be one in dynasty leagues, without a doubt.
That's Vince from the zoo, everybody.
Yeah, Vince bought a zoo. All right, Britt, we got one more. He's got to stay. We still have another TikTok.
Oh yeah, damn.
He'll have to feed the pigs and he'll have to feed the pigs and the cows and the hippos later. All right,
let's roll through this.
The second one is old reliable for the TikTok. We are doing power rankings, top 5 teams in the NFL today. So same as before, same order as before. I'll start at 5. I'm really excited to give my 5th because I don't get to do this often. At 5, I have the Cincinnati Bengals. I've literally never said that before. And I put them on my list just because I finally got the opportunity to do it. They looked great. They killed the Ravens. I'm happy to have put them on my power rankings list. I have the Bengals.
Did you know they do not have an indoor practice facility?
That seems right.
They do not have an indoor practice facility. It's just unbelievable. Guys, there's 8 feet of snow outside. Well, guess we can't practice. Like, what? It's just unbelievable. All right, 5 for me. I have my Dallas Cowboys. Had them a little bit higher heading into the Patriots game. Had them at 3 or 4, I think. But that was a close game. They didn't play last week. I saw some impressive teams play this past week. I feel like they need to be top 5 just with what this offense is doing and the players they're going to be getting back. We'll see what they do against the Vikings this week, but I have the Cowboys at 5.
At 5, I have the Chiefs. I still believe in them. They're still an explosive offense. I think just based off their offense alone, they belong on this list. And also, I think losing to them isn't that big of a deal, just saying.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Maybe if you didn't have a linebacker on Tyreek Hill.
Yep. That offense,
every year, that offense is just unstoppable offense. Yeah. Nothing you can do.
Can't do anything about it.
Nope.
Dominant. All right. At 4, I have the Bills. They might be a little bit of slept on because last time we saw them, they were just on their bye, and then they lost to the Titans on Monday Night Football. That was supposedly an off game for them. They scored 31 points. This offense is fantastic. Josh Allen's going to be an MVP candidate. Stephon Diggs is off to a slow start, and they're still killing teams. So at 4, I have the Bills.
4 for me, it's the Rams. We were talking about Stafford, Cooper Kupp. I feel like there was so much talk about them, right? And then they kind of have been going almost under the radar the last couple of weeks, which is unbelievable to me because they're so good. But the Rams at 4, they're explosive. They had almost a little scare there from Detroit because Detroit threw everything at them, literally any kind of trick play that was possible they threw at them. But they did not. I never thought they were actually going to lose that game because they're just that good. So Rams at 4.
I had them in a big money line parlay, so I was like, they're for sure going to be the one that loses. The biggest odds-on favorite to win is for sure going to lose. Number 4, I have the Cowboys. Another explosive offense that actually has a little bit of defense to back it up. Another respectable team to lose to, if you ask me.
Very true.
At 3, I have the Rams. I think that they beat the Bucs earlier this year. I think they have some good wins on their resume. The one kind of hiccup here, I like the team a lot, but they lost to the Cardinals, so it's hard to justify putting them above the Cardinals.
It's very hard to adjust. So 3 for me, I have the Buffalo Bills. Like you said, they're coming off that loss against the Titans. It was a tough primetime game, but like you said, they still put up 30-plus points. And now, just like the Chargers, like I said earlier, all they've had is that taste of that loss in their mouth during the entire bye week. And now they get the Dolphins, which who they shut out like 35-0, I think. So they
Cuckoo for Kayvon.
they are going to come back to throat punching teams, and it's going to start with the poor Dolphins. So the Bills at 3, they are still an absolutely unbelievable team that is going to move forward throat punching teams.
Number 3, I have the Bucks. Tom Brady's the greatest of all time. This team is unstoppable. Another team that I think if you lose to, it's not that big a deal.
I think I see a pattern.
Yep. At 2, I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They've just been killing teams lately. Even the Eagles game where they only won by 6, they dominated that, and that was a late garbage time run by the Eagles. There was pretty much like a running clock, a mercy rule against the Bears this past Sunday when they won 38-3. And the week before that was the Dolphins that we just talked about. They're not even handling teams; they are killing them. So at 2, I have the Bucks.
Imagine keeping it within 6 against a team that's killing other teams. That's crazy.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
By that logic, we're better than a lot of teams.
So 2 for me, it's the Bucks. I'm not going to dive into why this team is so good. I'm just going to read you my wild stat of the week. Troy Aikman, 165 career touchdowns, Hall of Fame. Kurt Warner, 208 touchdowns in his career, Hall of Fame. Terry Bradshaw, 212 touchdowns, Hall of Fame. Steve Young, 232 touchdowns, Hall of Fame. Joe Montana, 273 touchdowns, Hall of Fame. John Elway, 300 touchdowns, Hall of Fame. Peyton Manning, 539 touchdowns, Hall of Fame. Tom Brady, 602 touchdowns, still playing. What the fuck? And he got the ball back.
You give that guy a Bitcoin. Those are expensive.
48,000, I think that one was worth or something.
I thought I saw 63.
No, maybe 63. Everyone's like, I would have held on. No, you would not have.
What kind of asshole tells Tom Brady no, go pound sand?
I have a basic brain. I would have asked for season tickets.
Yeah.
I would have returned on investment. I could have just sold the tickets.
I would have. Can you imagine just being like, can just have Tom come over and ask me mid-game?
Yeah, I'm not telling the security guard. I want to talk to Tom.
Yeah.
That's true.
Tom.
I would have been like, I'll give it to Tom.
Yeah.
I'll hold on to this to the end of the game.
That would have been my other stipulation. I'll meet you in the tunnel. Like Mean Joe Green tossing his shirt to the kid in the commercial.
Yep.
That'd be me tossing that ball back to Tom Brady.
You'd be making an Instagram, a TikTok. Yeah.
We on number 2. Is it my turn?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, you said that.
Somebody
You said
the
that
Eagles
crazy
lost
stat. Number 2, I have the Raiders. They have a quarterback that's top 10 to 20 in the league. He's good, not great. He's top 10 to 20 quarterback in the league.
There was only a word for that.
Yeah, something like in the medium-ish.
Oak, wood, something with wood, ochre.
I can't think of the word. Somewhere right there in the middle, though. But I think this team overall is very good. Jonathan Vilma loves Max Crosby and Yannick Ngakoue. I still can't say his name.
Yannick Ngakoue.
Sure thing. Yeah, you bet. They love those two. Couldn't shut up about it, but they were pretty good. I think it's a good overall team. Especially with that top 10 to 20 quarterback at the helm.
All right. At 1, I have the Arizona Cardinals. I had them at 1 last week, and they had their bye week. That's not a bye week when they play the Texans. So I just kept them in there. They're still undefeated. By the time you see this, they might have played the Packers. So don't hold that one against me. But right now, I have the Cardinals at 1.
Number 1, it's Cardinals, undefeated. They're not going to have J.J. Watt this week against the Green Bay Packers, but I don't think that's going to matter. They're a wagon. They're a buzzsaw. They're whatever you want to call them. They're 7-0. And Kyler Murray he's a cheat code.
The Cardinals look unbelievable. They just added a new weapon in Zach Ertz. Therefore, at number 1, I have the Detroit Lions. Like we said, the best terrible team of all time. I think if you lose to them, there's nothing you can really hold against. You keep your head held high. Nothing wrong with losing to them. It's for the betterment of the franchise. I think just go out there and lose your best game.
Thank you, Vincent.
Thanks, Vince. Good work by you. All right. Great show. We'll see how We'll see if it's a great weekend of football. Looking at some of these games, who knows? I think it'll be a great game on Sunday Night Football for you. We're playing the Lions at 1:00.
It's just
Nothing appealing about that at all. Nothing at all. We'll see if the quarterbacks and Jared Goff can continue with their pace of completing 74% of the passes against the Eagles.
I would say no. I think the Eagles will win this game.
I hope so, but I also don't hope so. So
Cowboys looking to go 6-1. Trayvon Diggs looking for his 8th pick of the season. Sunday Night Football, prime time. Kirk Cousins, do your thing, baby. I like that. And shout out to that guy that sent out the tweet, Dominique Claire last week. The hashtag Vikings should target Trayvon Diggs as much as possible when they play the Cowboys after the bye. There is a reason he has so many opportunities for interceptions. He is not a lockdown corner. I don't even care if he gets a pick. Let's see how that works out.
We'll see how that one goes. NFL record for completion percentage in a season is 74.4. Drew Brees in 2018. The Eagles are allowing a completion percentage of 74.4. You guys have a great night. I'm going to go cry in a corner.
Make sure you go out and get your girlfriend or boyfriend or husband or wife some flowers.
Chris Hansen here, and I'm going to need you all to take a seat right over there and check out Birds versus Boys.
I think you're completely right here, and I hate it.
Hey, idiots. Stop doing dumb things. I got 2 phones. Upset alert. Upset alert. I might go insane.
I think you're already there.
There's no hope. Hope is gone.
If this was an AFC North podcast, we'd be done in 15 minutes.
Bob Hope. I'm going to drink bleach. That
Be
is.
the team you promised me you were going to be this year!
This is the Consciously Hopeful podcast.
I'll be watching.